Just, Ohio State is such a good team. We were really excited. Excuse me. We were really excited for this game because we just have a lot of respect for them. And I think that they're playing great basketball. They've responded from, one loss at the beginning of the season to just really soaring and getting a lot better. And really, this means a lot because we have a lot of respect for them. And I'm really proud of the way we competed. They came out and they were the aggressors in the first 2.5 minutes. And I think after our timeout, I'm really proud of the way that we competed, the way we responded, the way we did things together. I just thought we showed a lot of composure, and it starts with Charisma Osborne. I just thought she was so solid on both ends of the floor. She was a calming force. No one ever drives around her. We switched a lot of screens, but you'll notice nobody ever rounded the corner on her. And she played a mix of, point guard and off guard, but she was our steadying force, both tactically as well as emotionally. So really proud of this win. And I don't think we're playing our best basketball. I think, we made a lot of errors down the stretch, but I think that we do have a group that I know has high standards for our program, and I know they're going to fight for that next step of growth.
Coach, a little bit of a feeling out period in the first quarter. After that, what did you feel, especially through the second and third quarters, what the biggest shift was in the game?
Yeah, the biggest shift was we just decided we were going to attack the basket off the bounce. They were not helping off of Lauren at all. In ball screen action, they were really trying to get her out of the paint, but that also cleared out their help. And so once we got a sense that our guards were just going to get downhill, I thought that was a real turning point in the game. And then we just challenged Lauren to post every hard, to demand that attention, and she might not ever get individually rewarded, but it was going to help our team get rewarded. And I thought she responded really well on that, and that's what we're looking at. Every game, teams have to make a choice of how they're going to play that, and it's literally every single game has been different. And that's my job, is to go, okay, how are they choosing to do that, and how do we put our team in positions to win? And in this game, it wasn't going to be posting up off the pass to Lauren. It was going to be getting downhill off the bounce, and that's really where it turned.
Corey, you talked about the respect for Ohio State, and one thing the Buckeyes are known for is that press defense.
Yeah.
How did you prepare for the press defense, and how did you feel your team played against it tonight?
Well, candidly, we didn't prepare that well, honestly. I got to give a little shout out to our scout guys. I thought our scout guys did a heck of a job making it harder in practice than even it was going to be in a game. And that's saying something, because I think Ohio State is really good at their press. But I thought we really got out some of the mistakes in practice, and we had to work through those, and mentally, physically, tactically, and because we weren't very consistent. That was my biggest concern coming into the game. And I thought until the fourth quarter, I thought we'd handled it really well. And at the end, we got lackadaisical with the kind of passes. We weren't as crisp in how we cut off of screens, and disappointed on how we finished it, but really proud of how we responded from the reps we got in practice. And again, shout out to our scout guys, and then how we carried that out through 3 quarters.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Thanks for the time.
Mm-hmm.
In that fourth quarter, whenever Ohio State's coming back, the arena is getting loud because they've had so many comebacks in the last few years.
Yeah.
What did you say in the late timeout to kind of calm the team down, or Charisma, whoever said anything to the
Not enough. Otherwise, we would have played a little bit better in the last few minutes. So I just think that we just said we do a lot of mental conditioning, and we talk about the moments and our refocus routines. And literally, we said, everybody, take a deep breath and remember what's got us here. And I wish I could tell you it was some brilliant thing, but it's just telling them, hey, remember what you forgot for a second. Remember what you forgot. We've done all this good work for 3 quarters. Remember what you forgot. And let's get back to doing what we do best. And I'm not sure it really worked. We survived. We didn't thrive in those last few minutes, but that's what we wanted. This is our first real road test in a hostile environment against a really good team. And I honestly smiled a couple times when it got loud, and it's getting like, this is so good for us. You can't simulate this, right? You have to go into the fire. You got to be great through adversity, and you got to make great choices when it's hard. And we're we're going to learn so much from that. So, but they're well trained. They know. And honestly, Cam and Riz are talking about our next right step, getting back to neutral before I ever get in the huddle. This is a player-led team. This is not a coach-led team, and all the credit goes to them.
And I think too, like the people on the court, like we were constantly in a huddle saying reset. And I think in the fourth quarter there could have been a time where we were like, all right, I'm just going to try to do this by myself. But I think we stayed together even when things weren't going our way.
I have two questions. First, you guys are such a young team, you guys are going to be back here next year. How does this prepare you for entering the Big Ten Conference and telling you what type of competition you guys are going to have up against you next season?
You're the one. Why don't you answer? You're the one who has to do it.
I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I think this is like our first little taste of what we're going to get next year, and I think it was really good for us. I mean, it definitely was a battle today, and I'm just really proud of like how we stayed connected and we came back. But I just think it's going to be games like this that are just going to make us better, So I'm, really proud of just how we overcame today. It was definitely tough, but we did it. So.
I would just say, too, what we just did the last month is going to be harder than anything we do in the Big Ten. We've gone 4 weeks in a row of a cross-country trip every single week. And that will be a total that is spread out, no more than 4 trips in the Big Ten. And so we've strategically scheduled to stay in the Western time zone as much as possible in the non-conference to prepare. But this has been harder than anything we're going to face in the Big Ten from a travel perspective. And so, I think we're ready, and we are excited. We want to have this year be a humble celebration of all that the Pac-12 has given UCLA, and really be really thankful for that. And at the same time, prepare and get excited for joining the Big Ten, and it's going to be a great adventure, and we're excited to be a part of it.
And I wanted to ask one more thing. What is it like containing a player like J.C. Sheldon who can be all over the court, can do so many things and bring so much to the team?
I think it's awesome. I have tons of respect for her, and I get to do it every day because I got a player like Charisma Osborne. So I get a chance to practice that every day because I get a chance to coach her, and that's with total respect for JC. I've been an admirer of her game for a long time, but I get to live with this one every day who shows us what it's like. Just like she plays really hard, so does Charisma Osborne.
Your guys' interior defense in this game was really strong. It seemed like just when you look at the shooting numbers, how the 38.5% from the field despite a high mark from 3. Lauren, you had 5 blocks out there. Just what was working well on the interior defense in this game and keeping some of those players down low and contained for Ohio State?
I got to give a shout out to the coaches because they did a really good scout, and I mean, I think they purposely put me on someone who's not an amazing shooter, so I kind of just got to stay in the paint a little bit more and just help as much as I could, and that was the plan for today, just block as many shots as I possibly can. So I thought I did a pretty good job, but yeah, I think that it was just the scout, and that's what we practiced all week, so I kind of was just ready for it, and then once they started driving, I was just there, so worked out. Yeah.
We did a lot of non-traditional things. I mean, we knew how much we wanted to switch screens, and I love what Lauren said because I have such spectacular assistant coaches and video team, and so we started with Kiki Rice on 23 because we knew that in the switches she'd end up guarding the ball handlers, but that meant that sometimes Lauren was going to have to step out on some of those switches on shooters, and she just did a great job with that. But really, my staff is just deserves so much credit. Game in and game out, our players feel like the more prepared team, and just really appreciate the work that goes into that by my staff.
Corey, you mentioned the cross-country trips, and in the Big Ten, that's going to be a yearly thing for you guys, and sometimes even in the middle of the week. How do you prepare them for something like that, knowing that they're not just basketball players, they got school and so much else going on?
Yeah. Both my bosses are here on this trip, and we've been strategically planning. I was on a committee with Josh Rebholz in the back here talking about, okay, what's that going to look like? We have a phenomenal director of student-athlete success in Andrew Garcia, who always is thinking ahead from an academic perspective, from a community perspective, from their future plans perspective. It's actually, I think, going to be really easy because we have been so strategic for so long, and we have an administration administration that has said, hey, we're going to help you with what you need, and we're going to be proactive about it. We're not going to wait and say, oh, let's see how it goes. No, we're going to say, okay, these are going to be the challenges. This is how we're going to equip you. We got your back, and I'm actually not worried one bit.
Is that something you implement this year, or is that something you guys have worked on?
Well, it's been gradual, so this is our second year with Andrew Garcia, for instance, but, we've been chartering, for several years, the way that we've been doing that, and being able to put the student-athlete experience first, to be able to, we've had now 18 straight quarters of a team GPA of a 3.0 or better, so I think what we're doing is working.
I was here for all 18. Just saying. Just saying.
All right, thank you guys.
And just before you go, just thank you guys for telling the stories of our sport, the Final Fours in this state this year, what you're doing to grow it. This is a special time in women's basketball, but also women in sport. And we cannot continue to have these tipping points and these new records if you don't write about it, if you don't tell the stories about it, and keep growing our sport even in this state. So thank you for what you're doing and for being here.
Thank you.